Hello.
Wow. It is that we are so delighted to be here with all of you, for we are wanting you to all know, each and every one of you, that you are loved. And it is that I have come today with legions of angels, for we hear that you are wanting to heal the earth and to bring a quieting to these fires that you speak of. And so we have come to assist you in that, and we are delighted to do so, for we want to remind all of you that you have free will. And it is that although we are here assisting all of you during this time of great change, when we can unite with your energy together and the vibration of the opening in all of your hearts to bring something of peace somewhere on the planet, and we merge your energy with our energy and vibration from the angelic realm, we amplify our power and our ability to make and to create change. So thank you so much for the invitation to assist you in your project of healing. And so, with that, we always know that there are things in which we're wanting to talk about, but we want to remind you that it is not so much what it is that we are saying, for it is that we use words to distract you in many respects, but we're wanting you to all open your hands and open your hearts and push your shoulders back as you are in a space of great opening, and a space of allowing to receive our light. For we are wanting to pour light into all of your cells, waking them up to the divine beings that you are. For sometimes you have just fallen into a little sleep, and we are here to tug at you a bit and to remind you of your essence, and to remind all of you who it is that you are at your core. For we know that the mind is very busy when you are in the human body and in the human form. And in that busyness, there is sometimes a forgetting of the purity of the essence of your being. And it is that the quieting and the releasing and the letting go of the mind is what will allow you to move into higher frequencies, something in which you're doing right now and you're not even fully conscious or aware of it. So it is the vibration of our energy as we bring transmission through this vehicle to all of you that you are receiving all the way through what you might call the web, in a sense, right? The web of your internet connection, for there is no time or space, for it is not linear where we are. It is always continuous and simultaneously occurring. And just as there is a web that allows you to somehow, even though you don't fully understand it, see each other and communicate with one another, there is also a web that goes around your planet Earth. Many of you refer to this as the light grid. And there are many, many different grids on your Earth, just like there are layers of energy around your body. Some of you think of them as auric fields or energetic imprints, and they go out many, many layers into the ether. Some of them you're more familiar with that are closer to the body as they continue to expand all the way up into the place in which you originated from in your origin of source itself. But just like you have these energy fields, as you might want to call them, around your body, Mother Earth has her own electromagnetic energetic field around her that cannot be seen with the human eye, but can be from the angelic realm. And she has layers and layers and layers of energy all around her. And you have named them in some of your understanding and teachings as the crystalline grid or the light grid or the solar grid. And there are infinite layers of beautiful lit up grids all around her. And there are pathways in which you can enter into them like a highway system where you can travel along these grid systems and move into different places. And many of you are familiar with sacred sites. Some of you know them to be your great pyramids in Egypt, or to go to Northern California where some of the fires are raging into Mount Shasta, into the vibration of the energies of Telos there too, where the grid is open and clear, to other places in England like Glastonbury or Stonehenge, and some of those things in Peru that you are aware of, or Lake Titicaca, or in Bolivia, for there are ones in Easter Island, and so on, for they are infinite ones, but ones perhaps that you are more familiar with have been, in many senses, activated and familiar, but new ones are opening now all over the earth as you are integrating more light onto the planet. And so this evening, after we answer your questions, we want to familiarize yourself with this light grid so that you can use it as a system of travel to bring light from your being in your own heart all the way across it to any point upon the globe at any time that may be in need of healing, and coming together in groups, and the larger that they are, in the intention of consciousness toward one end creates a change. And so we will work with that grid this evening and what we call activating a part of your light body, which is your Merkaba or Merkaba. And we can go into the more detail about that in a moment, but we can feel a hanging of energy around that you're having some things you are wanting to ask. So we will be quiet for a moment, which we are not good at, and allow you to speak. And so, what is it you are wanting to ask?
Hi, Raphael. We
Hello,
got
hello, hello,
hello.
hello, hello. What is it?
We got some questions from Instagram, and one of them was
Instagram.
right.
You are very funny. Instagram.
Instagram.
I am more familiar with this now. It is something where you post and share and tag. It is very funny, but it is a web in itself connecting all of you. And I want to talk about it for a moment because Instagram begins to create rhythms in which you begin to like other people that you want to receive their information, correct?
Mm.
And when you're doing that, you start to bombard your consciousness with that in which you are asking to attract into your field or into your vibration. And then you begin to amplify energy like that. For instance, this particular one, her Instagram, everything that she sees on it is about light and ascension and love and peace. And so that vibration, then, if she's going to be looking on the black box, which you all know very well, I'm not very fond of, but if you're going to connect with it, at least connect with the light. So I want to remind all of you that when I talk about the black box, I'm talking about anything that is projecting information, images, sound out into your consciousness. And I've been talking about this for a very, very long time. And I have always requested and continue to request that you unplug completely from information based in fear, information that is bringing violence, information that has images that are projecting energy that is not promoting peace. Now, we want to remind you that it is all right to learn and to receive knowledge about things that may be taking place or occurring on the earth so that you may take action if you are wanting to support solving a problem. But simply sitting in a room with the blue light of the vibration of the black box inundating you with information based in fear and separation and so on is because the consciousness is moving so quickly and your ability to create change is happening so much faster as the electromagnetic field upon the planet is accelerating. You are manifesting at much faster rates. And so it is more important than ever before that you're extraordinarily conscious and paying attention to where you are putting your attention. We hear in your circles of new age, in a sense, information that where you put your energy and where you put your attention attracts your reality. There is much truth to this. It is much more, in a sense, complicated than that, but that the basis of that is based very much in truth. And that is not just in the thoughts in which you are having, but it is also what is being projected into your stream of consciousness and into your reality through that in which you are choosing with your free will to watch. So be very selective using your free will to choose to engage in energies that are amplifying love, amplifying peace and bringing more harmony and equilibrium and peace and equality and a sense of justice to each other and to healing of the earth and to begin to unplug from things that are promoting fear. I just wanted to mention that because it's very important. So I'm sorry. What is it?
So, Raphael, so the first question from Instagram was, how can light overcome darkness, especially in this physical plane when there's dark events happening? How can the light overcome the darkness in like the 3D?
Light and dark. Very interesting. There is no light or dark. Well, you choose to think of it that way because that is the sense of how you perceive everything in this particular reality as polarized, as good and as bad. From our perspective, there actually is no good or bad, even in the idea that you are thinking of as light and dark. However, there are lower vibrations based in density and separation. And there are, in a sense, higher vibrations. And we don't even like to use lower and higher because in itself, that's creating a sense of hierarchy. And we like to refrain from that. But from the understanding of which perhaps you can conceptualize in this particular transmission of speaking, we will utilize high vibration and low. Lower vibrations are based in lower quadrant emotional fields of energy that are often associated with the separateness or me or the ego or greed or power or domination or survival. Higher vibrational frequencies are based in love, synergy, synchronicity, enlightenment, bliss, opening, and connecting. And so you're all striving in a sense to merge more with higher frequencies. Now you have to be connected to the spectrum when you're in the human body of all of those vibrations because that is part of the human experience. You don't want to get rid of lower quadrant energies completely, such as fear, for it was placed there for a reason. For if a tiger is coming at you, you're going to need to run and be a little bit afraid. What's happened is that that energy has overtaken itself and overrun itself through the ego, perpetuating and attracting energetic vibrations of reality that are no longer serving you, that need to begin to dissolve. Does not mean that that some of those original instincts do not still need to remain in place, but they need to be lessened. And right now they're running about 90 to 95% of the human collective consciousness, and they need to be running about 5 to 10%. So when you speak of low, of dark and light, we're going to refer to that more as higher frequency and lower frequency. Light, in a sense, when you're vibrating at a higher frequency, sheds exactly that, light. And when you take light and you shed it on darkness, you expose things. So what's happening right now is that although it might be perceived from your perspective, where it is that you are now on earth, that a lot of darkness is happening, it's not that there's any more darkness or lower vibration happening than there ever was. In fact, there's less, there's more light. But what's happening is the light spectrum or lens is widening, like almost like if you had a flashlight with a pinhole, that light is getting wider. And as it's widening, it's shedding light on lower vibrational energies that are bringing them up to be seen or to be exposed. Very low vibrational frequencies of what you might think of as the lowest of all would be murder or would be human trafficking, for instance, or taking children as slaves, or deep racism. These things are very much based in a very, very low vibration of domination and control hierarchy that one being through ego appears to think greater than another. That energy is collapsing. As it collapses, you're going to notice huge changes on the planet, in your structures, in your government, and in all institutions and ways of perceiving collectively what is happening. So as more light is coming into the planet, the veil is beginning to thin, and you are bringing more light into your body, and you're evolving into higher vibration or light consciousness. That lens is widening, and as the lens widens, it sheds a light onto the darkness, and the darkness is exposed. And the more it's exposed, you begin to think, oh, the world is terrible. Look at all the human trafficking. Look at the pedophiles. Look at the murderers. Look at the racism. Look at the inequality. Look at all of the rape. Look at all of the killing. Look at all the crimes. Look at all the violence. All of that was always there. It's just that more light is shed onto it, and it's being exposed. And through what you call even this web, you're seeing it more. It's coming up to be looked at. And as it comes up, it might appear to be more dark, but it's lighter. It's coming up because you will not have it anymore. Your collective consciousness is saying, no more of that. We will not stand for that. And that is the light. And so the light is prevailing. Higher vibrational frequencies are here more than ever. So do not drop into despair that things are terrible, falling apart. To the contrary, they are being exposed to be seen for what they are. And as the energy intensifies, as you move into the new season of the fall and through this year that many of you have found to be very turbulent, more things will be exposed and more will come to the surface to be healed. And you may feel something within your being to choose to participate vocally, or to demonstrate, or to meditate, or to be in stillness. However you choose to participate, or in meditation as you come together this evening, to create and to bring more light to whatever is occurring for healing. So what's happening is you are actually collectively healing and unifying, even though it appears to be more divisive and polarized than ever. So there is no light and there is no dark. There is no good and there is no bad. It is a label in which you choose to place upon oneself, which is a reflection of yourself in itself, because everything is actually you. And so when a part of that comes to the surface to be healed, it is that the healing within your own being is also what is creating the healing for all. Because in the remembering of this exposure, not only are you exposing these lower frequencies that must come to the surface to be loved, but you are exposing in your own personal life all types of things that are coming up now to be healed. You might find relationships falling away. You find people that you've been close to no longer in your reality. You may feel the job that you were doing is no longer there. The food that you used to eat is no longer appealing. You might feel different vibrations in your body and changes because you are calibrating to a higher and new light frequency. And in order to do that, you must trust in the unfoldment of what is coming into your experience that is leading you more toward that light.
Thank you so much, Raphael. That was, a great answer.
Oh, I'm
So,
glad you liked it. You are very funny. Oh.
the reason that a lot of us came here and joined this call is because there are those, really bad fires in California, and we want to be a part of healing them and using the grid for everything. And so another question that was on Instagram that I'd like you to see if you can weave and answer this all at once and guide us into the meditation is that in this chaos, right? This chaos that we find ourselves in, like all of the fires and people losing their homes, how do we find peace? And then can you just go straight into guiding us through a meditation?
You're very funny. A lot of demands on the angelic realm. Oh. We are trying to remember your question. You're wanting to know about the chaos. Well, the chaos is here, but we want to remind you that the outer experience is just a reflection of the inner. And so to lessen, in a sense, the chaos is to go into inner stillness, inner peace, because they reflect each other. It is the turmoil that you're feeling inside is reflected outside, and the turmoil you're witnessing outside then is reflected inside. Their mirror, they go together. You cannot separate them. That's why we're always talking about doing your own emotional healing and self-love and bringing up the shadow, or what you might label as the dark or lower frequencies, to be cleared, so that the inner is moving and vibrating with inner light, higher frequencies, so that it begins to reflect outward. There was something interesting today that we were talking when I was not in Kelly, in a sense, but with her, as she was having a conversation with a friend, and she was talking about an old book. It was called The Celestine Prophecy. Many of you may be familiar with it, or it's, in some respects, it was a movie. And in the movie, toward the end, they had been working so much with light frequency and being able to feel and emanating light coming off the planet, plants and Mother Earth, and tuning into higher vibrations, that at one point they stood somewhere, and at that point it might have been thought of as like a point on the grid, a sacred space, right? And where the ley lines come together and it's filled with light. And they started to hold, as in this situation or dilemma or movie, in a sense, the militia or the rebels with guns started to approach them. And what happened was, instead of running away from what would be labeled the dark, they stood and raised their vibration in their stillness of peace and illuminated themselves into a higher frequency of full, complete, unconditional love. And as they did that, they became actually invisible. And the invisibility was that they could not be seen by the rebels, the militia, or those with the guns that were after them, because those were vibrating at this frequency that you would label as dark or lower, and they were vibrating at such a different bandwidth that this bandwidth could not even see them. They were not even visible to them. Just like I am not visible to you, to many of you. Some of you have the gift where you are able to see me, but most with the naked eye are not able to see our light from the angelic realm. Sometimes you might see balls, or what you call orbs, floating about at certain moments, and you can tune into our energetic field, but most of the time you cannot see us, because it's not that we're just vibrating at a different bandwidth, right? You cannot see so many things that are just not at your same frequency. Well, what's happening is you're elevating your frequency into higher dimensions in a sense of love. There can be complete, absolute chaos occurring on the earth, but a particular reality may not even have an awareness of that or be engaged in that drama, because they're not vibrating at that frequency. Doesn't mean it's not happening. Just like right now, there's multiple billions of different realities occurring simultaneously on Earth, and you're all experiencing whatever you're experiencing, depending on your soul contract, your free will, your choices you've made, and so many factors that have come into play, including the vibration, the frequency in which you're holding. And so when you talk about chaos, chaos might be happening all around you, just like the militia with the guns are coming at them. But it is through the centeredness of the stillness and holding the higher vibration, in which they can hold for a long enough period of time, that although it is occurring and they can see it, the chaos cannot see them, nor is it affecting their experience. Now, in the movie, what happened was, some of them, or one of them, as I recall, and I were trying to remember now, is that their frequency dropped for a moment because they moved into fear, and it lowered enough that they became visible, and then they were captured. And so it's not only about holding a higher frequency, or getting to one, it's about holding it for longer periods of time. And how do you go about doing that? You do it through what we say over and over and over again, like a broken record, to meditate. Because it is that in meditation, you go into the stillness in which the ego is not present, and you begin to expand into what we call the 0 point of the infinite possibilities of everything, where everything is and nothing exists. The place in which you originated from, the place where I come from, the place that you shall return to when your body is no longer with you, the source of all things. So if you can maintain a connection to that source of nothingness, to that vibration of love itself, while still in physicality in the physical form, then it is the chaos that is occurring. It's not that it's not happening, but it is not affecting you in the same way. It is sort of like a great monk who has been meditating their whole life can sit in stillness in stillness while chaos may be occurring all around, and they are not affected. They are at peace with whatever the timeline of unfoldment may be occurring at any given moment. And so chaos is your perception of what is occurring, and your ability to be a witness to it or to engage into it, to be caught in the drama of it, or to maintain your center in the stillness of the now. And so it is moving into the presence of the now, moving into the place of the breath, moving into stillness, moving into higher frequency, and holding it for longer periods of time, that you can witness what is unfolding, but not affected. Just like you must be doing the emotional work on an emotional level, just like you might be triggered by someone who comes into your experience over and over and over. And it is the more you clear and clear and clear, that same statement that they had said to you for 20 years that set you through the roof no longer affects you. It's just like you're invisible to it, because it cannot affect you from the frequency that you are holding, because it is no longer there. Perhaps that was a very roundabout way to an answer to a question I don't even remember. And so you're wanting to meditate, and we would love to do that. So let's connect now and bring in my friends where they're wanting to be here. We've got Archangel Michael, my great protector, who is very present, who stands before me. We have Archangel Gabriel, who is coming in this evening with buckets of rain and water to bring and to pour upon the fires. So I am coming in to reduce and bring the wind down. And as we ask Archangel Uriel to come in to represent Mother Earth, we ask you now to take a nice deep breath, to know and to remember that as you come together with one intention to bring these fires, to calm them, to bring them back, that the intention collectively of that alone is so powerful. For you can bring wars to peace. You can bring those that are hungry to be fed. You can change much with the connection of collective intention and meditation, with the intention of your consciousness toward one end. And so we invite all beings across the planet right now who may be hearing our call in their subconscious to join us as we gather together holding hands. We ask all of you to form a circle together holding hands. As we stand behind each and every one of you, feel our hand upon your shoulder. For you might know me as Archangel Raphael, as my green emerald light comes in and consumes you. Or you might feel the vibration of beautiful Buddha as he comes in with his compassion, or the vibration of Jesus and his healing. Or perhaps Lakshmi is present for you with her beautiful, abundant lotus flower and gold raining upon you. For Kuan Yin is here, and Archangel Michael in his great sword of light, Saint Germain in his transmutation fire and violet flame, for they are coming in droves. The beings and the great goddesses, ascended masters and angelic realm, light to brotherhood of white God energy is present, the goddesses and the gods. And as they come in, they support all of you and merge with you as you feel them touch you, whisper in your ear, and bring love into your heart. We're going to move now as I am placing upon, as you close your eyes, please, upon each and every one of you, a pyramid upon your head. It is sitting upon your crown, and it is the form of a pyramid. As we bring down the beautiful grid of light as it comes down as a pyramid from above, as the Earth's atmosphere begins to bring it down, it's going to hook onto the top of the pyramid upon your head. And as they interlock together, they're going to begin to spin in what we call a Merkaba, in which we will not necessarily explain. All you need to know is that you're going to begin to feel a spinning energy now above your head. And as it begins to spin, you can allow the spirit of your soul and your essence filled with pure love and light to begin to lift up through your pranic tube and in your crown out into that grid of light where you get to soar and play as a winged spirit of love all the way across the globe from wherever you may be at this moment in time in your location. You're going to travel along the light grid until you arrive to the west coast of the United States of America, and where you see the energy of the flame and the rage of Mother Earth's pain as she is in great imbalance. And as she needs to be calmed, for you must remember that her imbalance is her way of crying and speaking to you as she is roaring like a red fire, asking you to remember to love and to listen to her, for she is crying. And you say to her, I have heard your call, but your fire is not only hurting you, but us as humans, ourselves, our bodies, our structures, and the air we breathe. We ask Mother Earth now for you to stand back and allow these fires to begin to settle. And so with that, we ask you to look over and hover above California and Oregon and Washington. And as you see this fire, feel with you the wings of Gabriel coming in. And as Gabriel is starting to come in, we want you to fill a bucket of water that you are filling as high and as wide as you can above the grid, and go over to a place or to a fire that you see and begin to pour down that beautiful liquid cleansing water all the way down as it begins to dampen and quiet the fire. And as you see the water coming in from above, beginning to quiet the fire, feel my energy coming in with you as I, as Archangel Raphael, come in with my emerald green light over to the fires as I work with the wind and feel the wind and its power as it has come in and lifted the fires, quieting. As the wind begins to recede and move out of the way, bringing a quiet whisper as the fire begins to recede. And you see the fire receding and quieting and moving back. And as it does this, we bring in Archangel Michael with his beautiful blue light and his golden, gorgeous sword, as he comes in reminding you that the fire was here for transition and transmutation, and it has cleansed and cleared what it needed, and it is no longer having to rage. And feel his sword cut it. As he brings in his sword, he brings it around the structures where the fire is coming and around the beings and the people who are being evacuated, bringing in Archangel Michael's energy and vibration now to protect the humans and the animals and the creatures and the earth and the homes with his sword of light. And now we bring in Archangel Uriel's energy as she brings up love, coming up from Mother Earth. We want you to pour all the love that you have in your heart down into Mother Earth, raining upon her your love and appreciation for all of the blessings that she has given you, for everything in your life comes from her. The food that you eat, the water you drink, the air that you breathe, everything you can see and touch is born from her. And she now wants to feel your appreciation. Bring in gratitude for her, asking her to bring these fires down as they can begin to recede. And now, as we will sit silently in meditation, we want you to visualize and imagine pouring beautiful cleansing water upon this geographical area, bringing light and peace and serenity, and allowing now the fires to begin to move and to retreat and to be contained. And as the wind settles and the water comes and the fires quiet down, we ask that you continue to see this every day, continue to meditate on this, continue to pray for those in harm's way, and to remember to love your mother. Your mother is the earth. She has given you everything. She loves you more than you know. She is suffering. She needs you to remember to honor her, to listen to her, to take care of her, to respect her, and to bring her and all of her creatures in her animal kingdom, in her ocean's water, in her air, in her forest, in her desert, back into balance. You will be returning to new ways, the indigenous and old ways. Hear her call. Respect her. Continue to see the fires retreat. And know that the power of your conscious intention, that you are the only creature on the earth that can come together collectively using your consciousness of intention to shift timelines of reality. Utilize this power for good. I love you. Many blessings and good night.